Hi, happy Wednesday, March 15th. Welcome back to the Braca Vlogs. So on Monday, March 13th, I was off of work. It was a PD day. I planned it that way so that it was a day I wouldn't need a sub. But I had a scheduled appointment with my plastic surgeon. It was my 4-month follow-up. So last time I saw her was in January and she said she didn't need to see me for 2 months. So this was the 2-month mark, but 4 months post-op. Almost to the day. What was my surgery? Well, my surgery will be 4 months on Friday. So anyways, it was just a follow-up with her to see how everything is healing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was super duper nervous that she was gonna not like something and she was gonna suggest a reconstructive surgery because I met a girl. Ironically, I met her through a Facebook group and I had just posted about like my surgery and like I think you could tell what hospital I was at in the post. And she messaged me, this was in November. She said, "Did you have your surgery at Christ?" And I said, "Yes." And she was like, "Who was your plastic surgeon?" I said, "Dr. Chin." She's like, "Oh my gosh, me too." And she had hers like 2 weeks before me. And unfortunately, this past week, she just went in for her reconstructive surgery. Knowing that other patients of hers were getting reconstructive surgery, that she didn't like how they were healing, really made me nervous. Every single body is so different. So you really just can't, you have no idea what to expect. You have no idea how someone's body is gonna take to implants, period. If it's gonna look more natural with a different brand, how everything's just gonna heal in general. So I was just really scared she was gonna suggest another surgery and I really didn't want to do that. And honestly, I love how everything's healing. The only concern I have is I have a bump right here, which I did ask about at the appointment and it's all good. She said that she thinks it is some of the alloderm and that just wasn't broken up enough and that if I massage at it, it could break up. But it doesn't really feel great to massage, so I might just honestly ignore it because it's not a big deal or anything. And the appointment went really well. So Brandon took off work to go with me because I needed an emotional support person in case I got bad news. So we woke up on Monday and kind of took our time getting ready because the appointment wasn't until 10. And then we left, headed to the hospital and headed into the cancer center, which is where I have all of my appointments pretty much. And I had to fill out this paperwork, which stressed me out because it was about my insurance. I had a huge scare like a month ago. I got this very threatening email from the hospital network that I use saying that they will no longer take Anthem at the end of March. And I was freaking out because every single doctor I have is through this network. And I was just losing my mind about it, honestly. I literally like cried my lashes off when I got the letter. But then I ended up sharing about it on social media and a bunch of people were like, "Oh my gosh, do not worry. This happens every few years." Their employees at that hospital network are on Anthem. So it's like there's no way they're not gonna negotiate because then none of their employees would be insured at their own place of work. So I'm not worried about it anymore, but I did have to fill out a form while I was there because they are still in negotiation. And the form basically was asking like, do I have any upcoming appointments because they would continue my care during negotiations even if my insurance technically isn't covered. So I put down the one that I had that day. I didn't know if I needed to put that down. And then I put down my appointment that I have with my cancer breast surgeon in June, just in case. But that's so late. I don't know if they'd even cover that at that point, but whatever. I just put it down just to be safe. And then we really didn't have to wait that long this time. I think we maybe waited like 20-30 minutes. We've had to wait over an hour sometimes. And then sometimes I've gotten in almost immediately. It's really like, you never know what to expect, but it was very busy there. So we went back with the guy. He always takes my blood pressure, my temperature, and my, what is it? Blood pressure, thermometer. Is it 2 thermometers? Because I do the thing on my finger. Heart rate, maybe? Is that my heart rate in my finger, I guess? Yeah. So he took all those vitals. It was all very good. And then we went back to see Dr. Chin, only waited like a minute before she came in. That's one thing I love about seeing her at the cancer center is that we never have to wait to see her. Like once you get into the room, she's in there in like a split second. She is, or one of her like nurses is, who's getting you ready to see her. But we did have a nurse come in first, but she was only in there for like 30 seconds before Dr. Chin came in. And Dr. Chin was even showing the nurse, she's like, "See, this is what it looks like when it heals really well." And I was like, "Thank you." And the nurse said she usually deals with patients like that are just post-surgery and pre-surgery, even like breast cancer patients, so she just doesn't usually see it on the other side of like healing. So she was very impressed and I take that as a personal compliment. Dr. Chin loved how everything was healing. She had no concerns at all. I told her about the bump. She said it was fine, but that I could mess with it if I want. And I don't have to see her for 6 months, which is so crazy because I went from seeing her literally every single week for like over a month. For like 6 weeks, I feel like I saw her every single week. And that first week, I think I saw her like twice a week even. I don't know, you can go back in the vlogs, but I've seen this chick a billion times. So to go from seeing her all the time to 2 months to 6 months is crazy. But I booked my appointment for September 11th, and I will get to see her then, and hopefully she'll just like how everything's healing. I will say a couple changes that have come because of my scars and how I'm healing. I'm not supposed to use wired bras, at least for now, but potentially forever, which is not a big deal because I don't like wearing them on a day-to-day basis anyways. It is a big deal, however, because of all my bathing suits. Almost every single one of my bathing suits, like literally 99% of them, and I own a lot because I love to switch up bathing suits because they're just so cheap. It's like one of my favorite things to buy. But almost every single one of my bathing suits has wiring. So I just had to place a new order for a bunch that don't have wiring, and I'm gonna keep those for a little bit and just see how I feel in them next year, because they're not something that I'd be wearing, you know, all day, every day. They're very occasional, but if it doesn't feel good, then I'll just end up selling them all next year because they've really all only been worn like once or twice because I have so many, I don't use them a ton. And so sometimes my scars are still like sore. I do put scar cream on them almost every day. I try to do it every day, but I just don't always remember. And I don't know if it's helping. I mean, they're very, very prominent, but I'd like to think it's helping. I mean, it can't be making it worse. So I'm gonna continue to do that. And I just hope the pain goes away eventually. If you're someone who's had a mastectomy, I would love to know like how long it took for you to not feel your scars at all. They're definitely like completely healed and stuff. It's just that they're like, I don't know, if I push on them or were to wear a wired bra or whatever, they're just like sore. It's hard to describe. But I also feel like I've retained more feeling than I thought I would. Like most of the areas, like here, anything basic, okay, I could explain it this way. Basically any part of my skin that you would see while I'm wearing a bathing suit, if I was wearing like a bikini, pretty much has feeling. And I was under the impression that I was not gonna have feeling like in this whole area. And that's not the case. Pretty much anything that would be covered with a bathing suit is what I don't have feeling on. And when I say I don't have feeling, I mean I literally cannot feel it at all. Like I can run into things, have no idea. Someone could poke me, I would have no idea. I just literally cannot feel it. It's the strangest thing, but it doesn't bother me. Honestly, it's not something I've been like sad about or anything. I'm still very 100% happy that I went the preventative mastectomy route, and I feel better with my body now than I did before. I mean, I didn't feel bad about before, but I actually think like this was an improvement to me. I mean, yes, I have huge scars, but other than that, I think that I look pretty good in the new clothes that I got for my Mexico trip that's coming up and my other trips this summer. Like I can wear things that I didn't really wear before. Like I got a lot of like strapless shirts and stuff like that. It's kind of nice. I'm kind of liking it, honestly. It's an adjustment, of course, but healing and getting used to my new body really hasn't been stressful. I mean, well, y'all know, like healing at the beginning, the first 6 weeks was miserable. I was miserable, but the like emotional, mental part of it past when I physically started feeling better has been perfectly fine. I've actually been really happy with it. I think it helps to have a really good supportive unit. Like Brandon's really supportive, my family's very supportive, my friends very supportive, so that helps. I'm sure if I had like a husband or something that had negative comments, that would be, I'd feel completely differently. But as of now, I feel really good about everything, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this update. It's all good news, and the next time I'll see you in a BRCA vlog, hopefully, will be when I go to see my cancer doctor in June. So I'll see y'all then.